Grow your cleaning business, make more money, have more time. This is the Profit Cleaners podcast with your hosts, Brandon Condrey and Brandon Shane.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Profit Cleaners podcast. We're back in action with another great show for you guys. Got Brandon Condrey in the house and Brandon Shane. I'm your host. And guys, we have a really fun, quick episode just to put out there today. Something a little different, but ultimately we want to talk about pricing and give you guys a really cool tool that we've been working on for literally like the last 8 years. So we want to make it available to you guys because a lot of you reach out and say, hey, how do we price things? It's one of our biggest questions we get asked in the group. And just wanted to, I know a lot of you guys can't jump right into the coaching with us, so we wanted to make this kind of available to you and help you out in different ways. So Brandon, let's tell them a little bit about the pricing tool, what they're going to learn, kind of the story of how it came about, and how they can get a hold of it.
Yeah, so this is what we're talking about today. Is like it's a bridge the gap thing. Like we have like the business in a box, course where everything we do in our business is documented in there. It's expensive, that's a lot of our sweat, blood, and tears in that product, so we charge accordingly. But many of you are not in a position to do that, which we totally understand. So we kind of went back and talked about things like, how can we help more of you faster? And so one of the questions we get asked the most is about pricing. Am I pricing my cleans? How do you price your cleans? Is it hourly? Do you do it on a commission basis? So on and so forth. And so we had already developed this tool for the coaching students to use, an internal tool where there's a sheet where it's a Google sheet. It's got a bunch of tabs, but there's a lot of math on the back end, which makes it really cool. So you enter in some competitor data that we're going to prompt you for. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. And you give us 3 competitor quotes, and then you're going to tell us a little bit about the company. How many people do you run on a crew? And are you trying to gain market share? Are you top dog and you want to go above the market? But then the fancy math on the back end will spit out a pricing matrix for you that'll tell you what we think you should charge and how long a team should take to do that based on the number that you supply. So it is configurable. And then the coolest part, I think, is there's a calculator that you can use for quoting. So instead of digging through a spreadsheet and trying to find which one you're looking for, just type in a number. This house is 2,003 square feet. Boop. It'll give you all the options for weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, move out, one time. And so that you can use that very quickly to adapt to someone on the phone, especially if you get a customer that's like, ooh, I don't want to clean the whole house. Can I clean just the kitchen and the bathrooms? And you can subtract it. Okay, we think it's this much square feet, so how about this instead? And so it is a flat fee system. That is the system we run, but we have been very successful with it, and that will make you more profitable.
Yeah, let's maybe dive into that a little bit too, really quick. Just a lot of people I do hear pricing hourly, but like, what do you think the advantage is overall, Brandon, going with the square footage model, which we know is more efficient, but like, why is it more efficient, right?
So the hourly ones, your cleaning time is going to be variable. It depends on what increments are you charging in. If you're a lawyer, you're billing every 6 minutes, something like that. So how are you calculating the hourly? So whatever it is, it's changing for the end customer every time. And so it's harder for them to budget. I mean, yes, it's going to be very close, but if you send out a new hire and they're very slow, it's going to cost the customer more in the end. And so they're going to be mad about that. And so you might discount that clean to save the customer, but you still had to pay the labor out for the new hire that's moving a little bit slower than they should. So the reason we have found flat fee to be more efficient is we're signing them up for recurring business. That's what I want. I want you to pay $5,000 to $6,000 a year to be my customer and not one-offs. And so flat fee, we're going to go out there. The first few times we see it, the profit margin is going to be lower. We're getting used to the property. We're bringing it to a baseline that we can maintain. But the longer we stay with that customer, the more times we see it, the more efficient the team gets. Because remember, part of our system is to send the same team each time, so they get used to the property over time. So in the beginning, less margin on the first couple of months. That's probably even too much, but like first 2 or 3 jobs. And then over time, as they get more efficient, higher margin for that job over time. And this pricing tool that we've built helps you calculate what to charge for those things based on what your current market is doing. And the nice thing about it is you can update it whenever. You're going to set it now, you downloaded it now, you set it up, great. Do it again in 6 months. How much did it change? Did the competitors realize that you raised prices and they did too, and now it's in an arms race? And if everyone's raising prices, then there's no alternative for the customers to go. So like this helps you stay in the game to keep pace.
Yeah, I love that. And it's really like coming down to like confidence too. Like when you guys have a system like this, it's instead of having this uncertainty in your voice and your energy of like, oh, I don't know, it might be this much or this much. And a lot of people are just winging it. But when you have a system, that structure empowers you and empowers your team. So now you can delegate that system. So you don't have to answer those sales calls. If you're wanting to hire someone to help with sales, you need a system so they can accurately and profitably price the services almost every time. And I'm sure you're going to have those kind of out there scenarios out of the normal scope of things, and we will teach you guys how to like overcome those too. But ultimately, this is like a really, really great place to start, so you can confidently be on the phone, be in the house with the customer, give them an accurate price. It doesn't need to be all over the place, and you don't need to be like, you know, undercharging and like losing profit, which tends to happen, right? If you make that mistake up front, you could lose a lot more profit, right? Yeah.
So I mean, this tries. Some of you that we've talked to literally make it up when you're there. You're going to go look at the house and you're like, oh, we'll charge this. And sometimes that works, but sometimes you're going to be way off. And if you have to go back to the customer like, hey, I know I said it was going to be $100, but it's actually going to be $150 because you did the math wrong, they're not going to be happy with that result. So, you know, this helps you be consistent across the board. All your customers will be paying the same or very similar. And so if they end up talking to each other, they won't realize that so-and-so across the street is paying $50 less than I am. Why is that? So yeah, there's a system behind it. There's a confidence behind it. And it's repeatable. It's adaptable. It will do the discounting for you. If you want to do a discount, you could discount it to run a promo and have those numbers in there. There's lots of flexibility.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I love the most, and this is why I love working with Brandon Condrey over here, is he's the spreadsheet ninja, and he just, numbers are like how he thinks about everything, and it's like incredible because we've been able to take 8 years of probably hundreds of thousands of cleans at this point. I don't know exactly how many, but a lot of data of experience to know not only here's the price point we should be setting, but also here's the target for the teams to be shooting for, right, Brandon? So
yeah, so the sheet will tell you this is how long a team of 3 will take to clean this house, or this is how long a team of 2 will take to clean that house. Those aren't just made up numbers. I mean, that is 8 years of data that went into those calculations. And so I do want to point out that those times are from a well-oiled machine that is Sandia Green Clean, and so your times will differ, but they're aspirational, you know, like we know that they're possible because we've been doing it for years. So we're letting you know that this is possible and that your profit margin will be higher if you're doing that. So you just have to get in there and try. And so in the beginning, your times are going to be off. That's fine. We're going to work you towards it over time with the efficiencies. The efficiencies come when the same team visits the same customer over and over and over again. And then you get closer and closer and closer to those times.
Yeah, and this is kind of a factor of, is it Parkinson's law? I always get the law wrong. Parkinson's law, Brandon? That does...
Which one?
With the toothpaste analogy, where if you have a whole tube of toothpaste, you're going to be more generous with putting it on your tooth. But if you have a little bit left, you're going to make it sparingly and make it last longer. Is that Parkinson's? I don't
know. Parkinson's law is work will expand to the time that you've given it. Are we talking the same thing?
May or may not be. Either way, there's a law out there. We'll look it up here and tell you guys what it is. But it's this analogy of, or this idea that, because we noticed this early on when the teams had a reason why, a deadline. They had 3 houses in the beginning. That's all they could do. They would take the entire day to do 3 houses on a 3-person team. They would leave in the middle of the day at 1 or 2 when they had to go pick their kids up. And we were like, but you guys finished all the houses by 1. How did that happen, right? They had less time to work with, but they all worked together to make it work. So we kind of realized, okay, if we get these time targets in place, now if they hit those time targets, we're profitable, we make more money. Now we can bonus them. They can be incentivized to work faster, not rushing, but work more efficiently through the house as a team. and then we recognize them too on the back end of that. But it's that idea of hourly, they might finish in 2 hours and then it's a 3-hour job. So what are they going to do? They're probably just going to waste some time, take extra time on other things that maybe it's not necessary. Versus when you're doing the square footage model, flat fee, it's that law, whatever that law is, that
it is Parkinson's. So what you're saying is like, okay, we gave you 8 hours to do 3 houses. You took 8 hours to do 3 houses. If we're going to flip it and say, okay, now you have 8 hours to do 5 houses, there's going to be some pushback, but that's what's in that sheet. The sheet's going to tell you, this is how long it takes to do this big of a house. And so you can stack the jobs however you want, as long as those times are adding up to where everyone's getting home. They're not going to hit them in the beginning. That's the point. But the idea is, look, the pressure's there to do it. Let's get it done by this time frame. I think you'll find it very helpful. So the times, I think, are secondary, really, just to the pricing itself. So we're trying to, the tool does a couple things. Like, you're going to call some competitors. That's going to analyze the market. We're going to know what everyone else is doing in town. It's important here to mention that we want you to compare apples to apples. So if you're a solo cleaner, you should be getting quotes from other solo cleaners. If you are a company that's running teams of 3 or 4, then you want to get quotes from companies that are also running teams of 3 or 4. And so once you get those comparisons in there, sets the market, and then you can dictate how much do I want to be above the market, below the market, and then it's built out for you. And my favorite part is that you can change it at any time. These are guidelines. You know your market better than us, but we're trying to give you a tool to make you move faster, more efficiently, more profitably.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, so we wanted to just put this out there for you guys, kind of a special offer, because it's normally included in our mentorship and our coaching. And a lot of you ask, and we're just always like, well, like, it's hard to kind of like explain it all without giving you the system. So, so we're not necessarily going to give it to you, but there is a price point on it. It's extremely affordable. It's something all of you running a business should be able to invest in and implement and model, which I think is one of the biggest things of doing this as well, is modeling success. Instead of winging it, figuring it out on your own, just trying different things, seeing what works, making your own mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes, and then model a system that works, right? So we know this works. This system generates millions of dollars a year for us, pricing and getting these recurring cleans in at these profitable price points. So just take what's working, model it into your business. Don't reinvent the wheel, guys. So yeah, if you guys like this, go check it out. We're going to put it out on a link, ProfitCleaners.com/pricing. Real simple, ProfitCleaners.com/pricing, and you guys can go pick it up. And I really don't see how you could not have this system in your business. Like, just even whether you're getting going in the very beginning, whether you're 5 or 10 years in, if you still don't have a system like this, like, start doing it now, right? The sooner you start putting these things in place, the more you simplify. And just learned this quote recently, but like, complexity is the enemy of execution and progress. So don't keep things complex. Don't be thinking through each scenario individually. Like, make a system that makes it very simple. So you don't have to think. The system just like calculates it for you. You know it's profitable. You know it's going to work, and then you can delegate that a lot more easily to someone else and be confident they're going to quote it accurately as well. So now you have structure for your business. Buy back your point for sure.
And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but for a limited time, if you pick it up, there is an option to do a strategy call with myself, where I will go over those numbers with you, and we can talk about whatever else you want to talk about while we have that time to go over pricing or any other questions you have on your business. But that won't be available forever. So if you're hearing this in your podcast feed and it was released today, then now's a good time to jump on it. It's an easy checkout process.
Yeah, just go pick it up, guys. ProfitCleaners.com/pricing. Pick up the pricing tool, test it out. If you want to hop on a call with Brandon Condrey, he's done hundreds of these calls now, just with through our group and through our live coaching calls every week, and also individually he hops on with our students and does this same process with our students. So yeah, we wanted to just offer some additional value, offer you guys an opportunity to work with us on a one-on-one level without being in the whole program with us. So check it out. I know you guys are going to get a lot of value out of it, and it's going to help you, again, just save time, be more profitable, be more confident, and create that energy to help close more of those deals. And then if you guys have in the past heard us talk about the sales system, this goes hand in hand with the ultimate sales strategy that we put out there in the past, and you'll have an opportunity to pick that up as well. So yeah, just take action, guys. If you're hearing this podcast, there's a reason you're listening. If you feel like yeah, I could probably improve my pricing. I could probably optimize that piece of my business. I don't even have a pricing system. There's a reason you're hearing this today. So go pick it up, ProfitCleaners.com/pricing. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys on the inside and helping you guys get more profitable, because we're the Profit Cleaners after all. Right, Brandon?
Yeah. In the
All
meantime, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Thanks for joining us today. To get more info, including show notes, updates, trainings, and super cool free stuff, head over to ProfitCleaners.com. And remember, keep it clean.